Welcome to the lesson that will demonstrate how to set up a form and embed it on your website. So for example, if you wanted to do a pre and post test and make it available on your website, no problem. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and add another page, so I'll click on New Page, and I'll go ahead and call it Quiz. As far as the location of the web page, I'll put Page at top level and choose Create. We'll then go ahead and save it, and if it doesn't pop up on the left-hand menu, I'm going to go to More, Page Settings, and I'm going to make sure that I choose Show This Page in the sidebar and choose Save. If it doesn't end up where I want it in the sidebar, notice where Quiz is over here under Showcase, I might want to put it at the top. Well, in any case, if you do want to move it, go ahead and choose Edit Sidebar and choose, in this case, Edit, and then you would just click on Quiz and then use the arrows to move it where you want. But in this case, I want it where it is. I'll leave it alone. If you're on your site and you want to get to the forms, you could come up to the top and say Back to My Sites. And when this pops up, you can click on Drive if you have Drive set up. Otherwise, it will say Docs. If you're having trouble locating this window, you could go ahead and look for Google Forms in a search. You would then choose docs.google.com to get to this window. This is where you would set up your pre or post test. I'm going to choose Create. I'm going to choose Form, and you might name it, in this case it's going to be Early Civilization, and you might give a brief description down here if you want to for your students. The first question might be set up first and last name. When I ask them for their first and last name, I do give a help text, and I specify this is necessary to give credit. This should keep your students appropriate. Go ahead and leave it as text. If you click on that drop down arrow, you can see what a lot of the options are for setting up a question, and we will talk about that. So make sure that you also say make this a required question. Otherwise, they could skip this setup and be able to submit their answers. So let's go to sample 2. If you scroll over, you can click on the little pencil tool, which is the edit option, and set up another one. In this case, it's going to be, let's say you have 6 classes and you need to know which class they're in. Otherwise, you might be creating these questions for all 6 classes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, which class period do you have humanities? And I'll click here and we'll choose from a list. And you could then set up that list. Period 1, click on the next one to add period 2, and so forth. If you only have one class period, then obviously you don't need to set this up. I will definitely make this a required question and say done. To add more questions, you go to add item. So the next question is going to be a true and false, so that's going to be multiple choice. So I'll set up the question. Hunter-gathering societies spend 60% of their daily activities hunting. Go ahead and under here you're going to choose multiple choice. Option 1 would be true, and then the second one would be false. You could always add another category if you want to, but in this case we just want the 2 options. I will say make this a required question. I'll say done. So this is what we have so far. I do want to point out, if you want to change the theme at the top, notice where it says theme. Click on that and you can choose a variety of themes. So you can scroll down and choose next until you find something that you like. After going through the form options, I'll go ahead and choose this basic one with blue so you can see what that looks like. If you like it, choose apply, otherwise cancel and find another template. So I'll choose apply and I'll continue to add. Now if you wanted to share this link and have people answer the questions on this form, you could do that. If you look below, there's a blue link. Go ahead and click on that, and at the top you can select that address and you can right click and choose copy, or you can do Control-C and then share that in an email. Some people might even choose to go to the quiz page on the website, and they might go into edit mode and then say take the pre-test, and they can select pre-test and go up to hyperlink, choose web address, and then link to this URL, you would do Control V for paste, open in a new window, say OK, then save it, and then your students can come along and click on that pretest and take it. So that's an option. The next thing is I'm going to finish up the pretest and I'll embed it on the page. If for some reason you lose the form and you don't have the ability to edit your form, you could go back to Drive or get back to your Google Forms or Google Docs, and it's right there. It's called Early Civilization. Go ahead and click on that and you can see this in a spreadsheet form, and this is where you'll actually go in and you can look at who's done what and grade it in the spreadsheet. But we need to get back to edit mode, so if you go to Form and choose Edit Form, you'll be able to go back to editing. So I'll go ahead and add another item. In this case, I'm going to add a paragraph text. This is where they can type in several characters. If you want a long answer, you would choose paragraph text. So I'll go ahead and set that up. The paragraph question is, explain how food surpluses led to population growth. Make sure you choose make this a required question, unless of course you don't want it to be mandatory that they answer it, then choose done. I'll go back up to add item, and this one will be check boxes. And this could be set up to where they have more than one answer. So I'll go ahead and set that one up. Checkboxes is ready to go. The question is, which statements are true about Uruk? Now the tip that I'm probably going to give is there could be more than one answer. And so in this case, the first two are correct, the other two are false. I'm going to go ahead and save this, and I'll click on the blue link below so we can see how this is set up. Hunter-gathering society spends 60% of the daily activities hunting. Notice you can only choose one. But with check boxes, you can click more than one. So let's do a recap. What I've done is I've showed you how to use most of the question setups. Do take note that if you scroll over a question, click on the pencil for editing. You can duplicate it or you can trash it. I hardly ever use these. We went ahead and we set up how to do a text, which is like a couple characters as your answer. Paragraph if you want a lengthier answer. Multiple choice if there's only one option as your answer. Check boxes, that's if there's more than one answer, or possibly more than one answer, and choose from a list. I'm not going to look at scale or grid. That's something you can do when you have time. So with that saved, I'm going to go back to the website, and what I'm going to do is go into edit mode on that quiz page. I'm going to go ahead and embed that form on the quiz page. To do that, you go to Insert. You're going to locate Spreadsheet Form and click on that, and you can locate it. There's Early Civilization. I'll go ahead and select that, choose Select. You might want to leave the dimensions as 600 by 400. You can always go back in and change those dimensions. Now I know the width of my banner is 700, so I might actually set it to 600 and set the height to 400. It's up to you. You can always come back in and change. Choose Save and then Save again, and your students can come in, take the test. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to take the test and come back and show you where to go to get that information. I just submitted the answers, so to get to the answers you would go back to Docs, open up Early Civilization, and you will see that the information has been added. So this is a great way to do a pre-test or a post-test. You can give the students this pre-test, check it, and then you can come back maybe after they've done the unit and give them the same test, or you might even reword the questions in edit mode. This demonstrates how to add a form to your site. Until next time, you have a wonderful day.